Hey everybody, Popcan Dan. So this is going to be a really neat video. Neat, yet very uneasy. And the reason I say this is we're in an area today, right now, that we are going to be looking for a treasure that was buried 200 years ago. And I happened to come across this document that kind of gave me a good clue as to where it could be. And it was buried by a guy who fought in the War of 1812. And he buried a lot of gold in an iron baked kettle, and it's been unaccounted for 200 years. And I have got a pretty good idea. I think I know where it is. And it's funny, my young friend behind me here, Mr. Redbeard, he knows about this too. And long before we ever met, we'd been kind of looking for the same thing, and we didn't know we were coming down to the same area. But what makes this really weird is both Redbeard and I had an experience down. Now my experience came 24 years ago, which is huge. And I'm not sure, when was yours? It was like 5 years ago. So that is long spread out. And when I talk about this, I'm talking supernatural. And you know what? You believe what you want, or if you're a believer, non-believer. But when I met Redbeard, we were talking about different things. And one of the things we were talking about was this area down here. And he said to me, I had this experience, and when he told me, and I'm like, you're pulling my leg, right? I said, did I tell you mine? Because I had the exact same thing happen to me, and it's not a word of a lie. And and when we heard that, I had chills go through my body. I'm like, wow, I'm not the only one. So what we're doing, we're coming down here today. We're looking for this lost treasure. At the same time, we're coming down to kind of, I don't want to say relive, because we don't want to relive this. But maybe a little closure or something is good to say, that we're coming down here for to help close this out. This experience we had, it was just really weird, and I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it now with each of us. Okay, so Redbeard, tell me what happened to you when you came down here.
It was about 5 years ago. I had my son Logan with me. He's 10 at the time. I had this story passed down from a woman's property I have, and she knew a relative of this legend that buried the gold. And this relative had said, they buried gold down there at some point near this old tree, and I was more here looking for cannonballs, because there was a lot of War of 1812 activity here. So a cannonball is one of my bucket list items. And I was here with my son, and this area is known to have, crackheads and stuff sometimes. So you're on edge being here to begin with. But we're down here detecting, and it wasn't too far from this point. It was back into the woods there a bit. And I'm swinging my coil, and I had plug-in headphones at the time. And I keep hearing these almost like mumble whispers in my ear. So I keep popping my headphones off and looking around and checking on my son Logan, who's farting around with a couple branches and stuff, and never see anything. So put it back on every time. It happened probably about 5 to 6 times. And I keep detecting, and then suddenly I get this feeling a few minutes later, and it's almost like someone's like blowing on the back of your neck when you know you're being watched. It's uneasy. Your hairs on the back of your neck stand up. And right then, about 5 seconds after, my son Logan goes, Dad. I go, what? And he goes, I got this chill down my back. I'm really scared. There was no wind to blow anything down our back or anything. And what's the odds? So I go, okay, I try to be the brave dad. It's okay, just keep playing. Put my headphones back on. Literally within 2 minutes, I hear this voice I can still hear perfectly to this day, that says, "Get out!" I tell you, I had a heart attack almost. I grab my headphones off. Logan, get over here now! Logan starts to come over, and I'm staring at this big tree that was a few feet away from where he was. And he looks at the tree to see what I'm staring at. I'm almost in a daze because I'm so scared. I'm almost paralyzed. And no word of a lie, 4 to 5 branches just go and break completely down. And I said, that's it. I grabbed my stuff in one arm, I ran over, grabbed Logan, and I took off. And to this day, I still relive that. And I'm a scientific guy. I look for every scientific explanation to explain it, and I've never been able to come up with one to this day.
So you just heard Redbeard's account, Redbeard's account, and almost the exact same thing that happened to me. And when I talk about that, I was detected, and I got the beep. I got a nice solid beep, and right when I got the beep, it was as if somebody whispered right in my ear, and I could feel the breath on my ear, and that's what freaked me right out. Was it said, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I jumped, and it took me, like, I was frozen cold, and it took me about 10 minutes to recover from that. And when I did, I finally got my stuff together, and I tried to continue to. I said, "Should I leave or should I stay?" No, okay, I'll stay. But when I started detecting again, I found another solid beep. And right when that beep went beep like that, this tree, probably about 50 feet away from me, decided to fall over. It was dead, and it just fell right down, and it was loud, and it didn't fall near me. But that was enough for me. I said, I am out of here. And just imagine, all these years later, 24 years later, here I am with Redbeard, and we find out that we almost had the exact same experience in the exact same spot. Is that just not weird or what? So, like I said, we're here today. We're going for the gold, and we're going to try to debunk or at least put an end to this mystery as to what's happening down here. So stay tuned. We're going to see what we do. Okay, so what we're looking at here from where we believe this guy's house was, and where he buried the gold down here by a creek, we're looking like right here, probably down to over there. With all the research Redbeard and I did, we don't believe that this man, he was much older in age when he went to bury it, would walk way down there. We believe we've got it rounded down to exactly where it is. And you know what? History kind of misleads you too. They want you to believe it's somewhere else, and they've actually said, "Oh no, that's not buried around here." I found out through some documentation. I found that, and I couldn't believe it with that, like that they said that. So I think I know where it is, and we're gonna try to find it right now. So here we go. All right, so what's going on here?
We got a
deep signal, eh? Yeah, that's coming from the place way down there. Yeah. Look, this is not a joke. Look at this. He's got that signal still touching down there. We're pushing almost 2 feet. This is insane. Yeah, this could be the treasure. I think this is it. There's no doubt in my mind.
Better be the treasure after all this way. And there, this is a piece that we pulled out. But that's incredible. That's 2 feet.
Yeah,
that's 2 feet.
That's really deep.
Wow.
Oh well.
That's crazy.
The search goes on. We're not going to retire today, I guess, or at least from this hole.
Not yet.
Okay, so we already broke the cardinal rule. Redbeard and I said we were going to stick close, probably about 50 feet away from each other at the most, and we've already broke that rule. He's probably about 100 feet behind me now. That's my bad. I kind of got sidetracked here. But wouldn't you know it, I came right to the spot where I had my experience. Right here, look at this, the tree behind me. That tree, that big tree right there. That is where I had it, right there. Right there. Right beside that tree. And actually Redbeard's walking right towards it. Let's see if anything happens to him now. But I have a feeling there's something significant about that big tree right there. Right there. I got to turn the detector on and go around it. Now I believe it was somewhere right over here too. I found a really cool old bullet. This place is freaking creepy, man. It really is. Oh, here he is. He finally made his way over. The Blair Witch didn't get you, eh?
Is this where it happened to you?
Yeah, right at that big tree. Right, it was just before the big, like somewhere probably about 20 feet, right around there.
Because you know what? This is not far from where. This almost looks like here roughly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was. I was up on the like on that next little slope, somewhere right near this tree.
See these branches that are down?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the tree. There was big, like, fairly big branches and a couple of smaller ones. See these branches broken off?
Yeah. Redbeard says he just heard a big branch break over here, right near. If you look straight ahead, in that there's a big tree right there. He said he just heard a branch break. Don't know if it's animal, vagrant, supernatural. We have no idea. Oh well, on with the show, I guess. So Redbeard we're down on the creek bed now. Redbeard just went around the corner, around these bushes. So we're coming down, we're crossing over here. And Redbeard goes first, and he's walking across. And I said, hey, do you want me to film you? It'll make for good footage if you fall in. And he goes, I'm not falling in. Well, wouldn't you know it, I walked behind him, and guess what? I stepped what I thought was a log, and it broke, and I went right through, and it was like right up to my kneecap. And I came running, splashing out of the water. I didn't want to fall because I had my phone in my pocket. And I splashed all kinds of creek water in Redbeard's mouth. Now he thinks he's going to have a disease. What? The dirtiest creek in all of Canada now, and he's got it all in his mouth. Should have brought your life straw. So this is just on the other side of the old farmer's fence that we found. Wow, this is so steep too. I can't even begin to explain. Redbeard is right. Look at him down there.
This thing's literally held on by about 14 inches.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's only like a tiny piece right there held on. And of course, I'm standing under it, eh? You ever see the Wile E. Coyote in the cartoons? That'll be me.
Should be a good time for a disclaimer. Don't try this at home.
Look at this. Oh my gosh. Stunning, stunning. There's got to be something down here. Okay, so update on the pot of gold. We haven't found it yet. Yet. Redbeard's over there saying yet, so that means there's a good chance we might find it. Okay, so we survived. Unfortunately, no pot of gold, but no ghost, so that's a good thing. Nothing happened to us. If it did, it was all ourselves, self-inflicted, falling down in shrubs and down side of hills and stuff. I fell in the creek. No ghost pushed me. It was all me. So I think it felt good. It was good to come back here, and at least I like the idea of strength in numbers. So we don't, we're a little less nervous. Mind you, we're still on edge, but at least if something's coming after you, I hope Redbeard's got my back, and
I push you over.
there he goes. Yeah. So I still think that ghost or whatever it is guarding this pot of gold, which is still yet to be found. But you know what? Maybe we'll come back here a few times and try it out. So that's it. Pop Canada signing off, saying, fill in your holes, be good to one another, and happy Halloween, I guess, because that's coming up.
That's a scary face.
That is.